Okay, right. So welcome everybody, right, to this quick interview series, right, I have with one of my clients, Mr. Zech David. And yeah, I just want to share before we begin, like Zech is someone that is amazing in terms of action taking, in terms of doing what is required to get results. But more importantly, is I can feel, right, literally his care for his clients, right, in helping them with setting up their crypto trading investment strategies, helping to get right great amount of returns, helping them out not just in that, but mindsets as well. So with that, right, happy to have you on, Zech, right? Yeah, before we begin, bro, you want to share a bit about yourself before we begin?
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for inviting me on the show. I think very happy to be here and to be able to share some insights of my journey as well in terms of how I've achieved what I have so far. Yeah. So thanks again for inviting me for this part.
Yeah, wonderful. So I guess you want to share just a very quick introduction before we begin.
Mm,
So what are
mm,
you currently doing right now? Who do you help? Right. And
mm.
yeah, I think we'll just use that to start off this interview.
Okay. So I'm actually running my own academy now, a Blockz Lab Academy. So what we do is we're actually a financial education company that's actually educating people about how to actually use alternative investments such as active trading strategies, digital assets, particularly in these areas to actually generate passive income safely and responsibly. That's my focus. I mean, other than my other side of what we do is also the consultancy side, helping B2B companies use blockchain in a legitimate manner to actually solve real problems, right? So we do consultancy, but my main focus currently now, especially what I'm going to share with you today, is more on the academy and the education side of things. Yeah.
Nice. So not the scammy coins that you see for 1 month and then never see again. Lah.
No,
Okay.
definitely not. Definitely
Okay.
not.
Yeah. So I guess yeah, I think you share before you even started and grew this business. Well, I know it's been doing pretty well recently, right? With a lot of clients coming on. You had your first physical workshop. Like what got you started into doing this business? What happened right before you started? I just want to get an idea of your story, right? For hopefully to inspire our audience as well.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I also was in the civil service for many years, about 16 and a half, almost 17 years in the armed forces. Basically, I was an ex-intelligence officer working for MINDEF. 16 and a half years, character integrity is very important. We were doing a lot of insights, foresights. I was working on technology projects, particularly in the area of cloud computing, AI, data analytics. So that has been something that I've been doing consulting, doing architectural kind of developments in those areas, other than operations and intelligence as well. So along the way, I think I think some of my clients also have actually encountered this issue where they, eventually they hit a midlife crisis and they no longer see themselves being able to actually work till the age of 65 or 70 in the same current job as the one they do. So I actually encountered this problem where I asked myself the question, right? Am I meant to do this work for the rest of my life? Is this what I'm designed for, right? Why am I here in this world for? So eventually, when I discovered, I realized that maybe this is not the job I want to work for the rest of my life. For sure, it's meaningful. For sure, it does contribute and stuff. But I couldn't see myself working for that time. And the second thing that actually I encountered, even though I've been working in a stable job, 5-figure monthly salary from a government stable job, was that actually my mom got critical illness. She actually got cancer, stage 4 cancer, mid into my career. And I realized that at that point in time, I realized that, I didn't plan for my financial future. While actually I was investing and stuff, I didn't really pay attention to my protection and my investment plans. So what literally happened was that, my mom got cancer. I realized that I didn't have sufficient protection, sufficient critical illness and medical insurance for her. And I literally had to wipe out all my savings and investments that I've saved up more than $100,000 over the last 16 and a half years, just to give her the best medical treatment at that point. So that she can live, because basically she was in pain, she was her wounds open, she was crying, and I couldn't. I mean, being a filial son, I just couldn't see myself not doing that for her, because I love her so much, right? She has actually raised us up, taken care of us. So that was a big turning point for me, and that was when I started my journey in investing. I mean, I learned about value investing, I learned about stocks, options, I learned about crypto. I did day trading myself as well. So pretty much any asset class that you talk about, even at alternative asset class, I have done it. Active trading, long-term investment, value investing, and whatnot. But one thing I realized is that I then encountered a lot of issues that I think most investors also face today, that, typically people would sort of like realize that this is like investing is actually not really passive. because there's actually a lot of work required, right? You need to actually look at quarterly reports, you need to study the management, you need to look at the business model, you need to also look at the stocks, right? And look at the news, like what's happening in the market, whether the Federal Reserve has increased the price, or whether the company, there's any bad news and stuff. So all this requires active monitoring of the market. And more importantly, I realized that a lot of people actually lose money in the market because they are trading or investing with emotions. And that's one thing I realized, that even myself, I have quite a bit of, through education and through mindset and coaching and attending a lot of masterminds and stuff, that I have a good level of emotional stability, but that in itself is also a struggle. And I find that I'm sacrificing my time, doing all this after a busy day of work, or after a busy day focusing on my business. The last thing I want to do is that basically just to open up the computer and then look at the charts and trade late into the night. So because that is not the life I envisage myself. So over time, I've developed unique strategies. I've actually found good active trading strategies and to leverage on AI and blockchain to help me to generate passive income consistently. And that is something that I think it has helped me and even saved my life, right? Because like I mentioned, the third crisis, other than midlife crisis, other than my family member got critical illness, was that I was retrenched. Like I was a CTO, I was running courses, I was doing educational programs for the previous company, MetaV, running a 16-man team across Singapore, Malaysia, and Philippines. Growing the community, doing virtual events, doing physical events in Comex as well, reaching to more than 3,000 people. But lo and behold, right, in January, suddenly I was just told that, you will be let go, right? I was like shocked. I was like, okay, if the main guy that is like bringing the sales, doing the educational program is not there, then, anybody else is dispensable, right? So for me, that was a key turning point as well. I mean, something that I learned that, if you are not running your own business, or you don't have full control, or you don't have like a safety net where a passive income, a safety net that's generating your sustenance on a monthly basis, then basically you're at the mercy of your company, you're at the mercy of the organization or your clients, right? Where anytime if they say that, Mark or Zach, you are no longer required, then goodbye, please pack your bag and leave. So that was my pain point, and that was that three experiences actually gave me life experiences that actually helped me to then ask myself, right, how can I help my clients, and what has actually helped me survive through this period and actually emerge stronger as well is really technology like AI, having the mindset, that transformational coaching that I've learned along the way, my mentors like Mark, Melvin So, and all these people that has helped me change and transform my life to where I am today. So I'll say that, okay, if I want to do something, I want to build my ikigai business, this is literally what I want to do, right? If I want to find something that I can build around my business for the rest of my life, something that I can imagine that literally I can work till 65, 70, because I feel that if work doesn't feel like work anymore, because this is something I enjoy doing, whether it's traveling around the world, making impact, still virtually online, doing physical events, this is something I enjoy doing, and this is what the market is prepared to pay for, then, this is something that is sustainable, that I can continue delivering value and making impact.
Nice, yeah. So I think like Zach, you can feel his passion, right, in terms of sharing it all the way, right, where he was moving on from his job on in army, right, to his mom, right, and then right now also getting retrenched, and then right, building his business. And of course, I think one thing that Zach also mentioned, which I enjoyed, which was the fact that he was able to still continue with his business and his life, right, is because he was able to create that passive income. Right, I think that's something that he didn't share too much, right? Tends to be a bit humble. So I think can you share a little bit about what were some of the returns, right, or some of the maybe income you generated, and how has it tied you through, right, during all this period of crisis, right, and getting retrenched during this period of time, even before we go on to starting a business?
Yeah, so thanks for asking that, Mark. In fact, in 2021, I mean, being an innovator and an investor as well, I've been investing in disruptive innovation projects as well as alternative investment, right? Other than my typical stocks, options, and whatnot. So, I have found like active trading strategies like in forex trading, as well as in crypto trading, in futures trading and stuff. And this vehicles actually allows me to generate passive income on a monthly basis. So I give you some numbers in terms of like forex trading. Over the last 2 years or so, we have generated more than 1,000% over a 2 years period, 1.5 years period. The reason so is that while the numbers looks big, looks quite impossible, but the real power comes in the power of compounding, right? Where literally, if every month you're generating like about 10% or so, that can actually compound to 1,000%. And same thing, something that I am actively sharing with my community today is, for example, digital assets, futures trading kind of platform where it's able to generate a consistent 5 to 8% passive income, right? And the win rate is actually really high, 99%, means the risk is very low, means 99 times out of 100 times of the trade that the AI generates for you, trades for you, is actually is actually a winning rate. Basically, is a winning trade. So those are high. What I do is that my company actually specializes in finding such projects, systems. We actually do a very deep due diligence. So a lot of these projects I spend like years, 2 to 3 years. I've been traveling overseas to Dubai. I've been traveling around the region, attending blockchain conferences, networking with people to really understand that, hey, firstly, number one, these projects are legitimate. I talk to the founders, I talk to the developers, I understand the back end in terms of the trades, that these trades are real and live. Because the last thing I want to do is to put my own funds in my own money or my funds in these projects that are scammy, and basically after 3 to 6 months they disappear. And the worst case scenario is that my clients or my friends and family lose money. So that is, for me, like I say, what really makes me difference is my reputation, integrity, right? For me, it's like reputation is number one. If I think that this project gives me a little of sense of like scammy or is potentially a Ponzi and stuff, that's the last thing I want to do to share with my family or friends, right? Because at the end of the day, integrity, reputation is priceless. That is one thing in today's day and age, right? The currency of the new era, right? Where if we lose, it takes like decades for us to build our reputation, but all it just takes is 1 day or 2 days for us to lose the entire trust and reputation. So for me, I think it's very important to find legitimate projects. And when I find them, it's about implementation, right? Because I think I have an advantage because over the years, I mean, I have a dual master's in systems engineering, right? Technology is something I've been a degree in IT, and I've been I've been dabbling in technology for many years. But what I think I'm really good at is actually breaking down and making these concepts hard to understand concepts about digital assets, about trading, AI trading, to make it very simple for people to understand and implement. So, for example, like the upcoming workshop that I'm working on, I've already done one physical event. I'm actually planning for a once a month workshop. The next one will be on the 4th of November. Full day workshop from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Basically, at the end of the day, after going through that entire workshop, my clients will actually leave the workshop, having their first AI trading systems, generating profits for them the very next day. So I think this is something that I learned from Mark as well, because Mark always talks about, it's not about knowledge, it's about implementation, right? So that is something to be frank, right, before I came and joined Master Implementers, I was actually quite weak at implementation. I had a lot of knowledge. I've been like what Mark said, a seminar junkie. We love to attend like conferences, events, masterminds. So I've done a lot of that. But I realized that very true to that is that it's about implementation. So what I'm applying from what I learned from Mark is like, you know what? No point doing like a 3 days boot camp and then people get a lot of knowledge and theories and stuff, but they don't have an active income vehicle, right? So I'll say that, okay, how can I help? So I asked myself the question, how can I help my clients get results ASAP? And basically I said that, okay, I think I can, put everything together into a 1 day workshop. Basically, I'll give them the right skills and fundamentals, the right mindset. And literally, in the afternoon, we can implement and they can actually deploy some funds, a small amount of capital. And, by the end of the day, they would already have a passive income vehicle that's generating them like 5 to 8% on a monthly basis. And I think that's the key to unlocking, building confidence, helping them to see that, hey, this is really, really possible, even if it's a small capital, but that consistent 5 to 8% will then open up new doors to say that, okay, now I have confidence and I want to maybe perhaps further this journey with Zech and his team and whatnot to actually help me to generate passive income. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, number one, the excitement is still there, right? I can feel it, right, all the way from the screen. So I guess a lot of people might be like, Zech, sounds good and all, right? But if you can make all the money you want from your trading, why you want to do this business in the first place? So I think people might be skeptical listening to this, right? Bro, like, is it too good to be true? So I guess what you mentioned is, of course, you do a lot of due diligence on your own side, right? Of course, reputation, integrity, right? I think I can speak for that. But yeah, I think people might be asking, like, why are you building this business in the first place? Why can't you just raise funds from people and then just give them a cut of it? Like, just want to share like your philosophy about why you built Blockz Lab Academy in the first place.
Truth to be told, coming from the space where, about 5 to 10 years ago, I was in a very different space, and I realized that people and mentors actually help me. And that's something that I want to give back, because I realized that a lot of people are in the past could be in my shoes, and they're struggling financially. They don't see the future, or they see that the future is quite bleak because of like the challenge of AI. Their jobs might not be stable. They could be retrenched in the future. So really, if you ask me, right, deep down, I'm not really very interested in helping the rich getting richer, but I'm really more of very interested to help people, the ordinary man on the street, the ordinary folks, to be able to generate a safety net, a passive income. I know it doesn't make a lot of money, because technically speaking, if I can help a high net worth and a business owner that has like literally 100,000, $1 million, what is like 10% of their net worth, right? That is like nothing to diversify into digital assets. For sure, they can pay me a good money and start to do this coaching. But I ask myself this question, right? Who really needs this? Who really can actually use this to actually help them to at least create a safety net? Not say to maybe become rich and become a millionaire, billionaire. They possibly can, because technology is technology, right? But more importantly is that I know the people who needs this the most are the ordinary folks, and that is why I'm taking the time, conducting free masterclass, conducting full day workshops at a very low cost, so that I can empower as many people as possible, help them, educate them, help them to understand that, today's day and age, there is such technology already available. In fact, all these technologies and AI strategies and systems are already being used by big companies like BlackRock and stuff, helping their high net worth managing this, to manage their funds and grow their wealth already. But they are really not really interested in the ordinary folk. Like, recent developments, right? TD and Ameritrade literally say that, okay, we no longer support retail investors. All we want to do is to support accredited investors, right? That is like a big shift, but that is something that it doesn't resonate with me, because all I want to do is that, how can I help and impact families out there, especially in Singapore, Malaysia, regionally? And I know that this technology today can already help people. Ultimately, my end goal is that, really my end goal is really to help people to build that sustenance, give them the option to say that, you know what, now that I have generated multiple passive income, it has actually covered my sustenance. For example, if you say that my sustenance is like 3,000 or 4,000, where I can pay my bills, I can, take care of my family, I can buy milk and stuff. Now that option opens, right? Say that now that I have a passive income that can covers my sustenance, I can think about, like, do I really love the current job that I'm doing? Am I really happy with where I am today? Then now the option opens to say that, okay, if I wish to quit my job and completely go into a new industry, or pursue my passion and purpose, create a side hustle, something that I believe in, I know that I can work. I can work on it for the rest of my life, because I enjoy doing it. And you know what? Over time, we will be able to find a market for it. We know that eventually we'll find our value, we'll find our X factor, and people will pay us for it. I think that's my ultimate dream, right? To empower as many people and as many change makers and individuals to pursue their life dreams or their ikigai, without having to be stuck in this rat race. So that is ultimately my mission and my focus. Like, even though it doesn't make a lot of money, it doesn't matter, but at least I know that I'm helping the right people moving forward.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think I can, again, right, you can feel the passion, right, for what you're doing, and I love it. Anyway, but I want to ask something a bit deeper, right? Because I know, like, 6 months ago, right, when you joined the program and stuff, right? Hey, bro, where was the energy, man? Where was the drive, man? So I know there was a lot of questions, a lot of things. You want to share a bit about so before you have right now that level of passion, that conviction, right, of what you're doing right now, what are some of the challenges, right? I mean, before you join us, right, what are some of the challenges or thoughts you had, right, that was maybe preventing you from maybe growing as fast as you could, right, at the point of time? Just want to check in, right, from your perspective, what was happening at the point of time before, right, this amazing high energy Zech that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I would say at that point in time, it was quite I was in a state of like kind of like depressed, because you just got retrenched, right? So I go back to the time when, after January this year, January 2023, right? Basically, I was literally laid off lah. So that was a period I started to think about life, right? I say, hey, you know what? I thought I'm a co-founder, I have like shareholder and stuff. I thought that I'm building a business that I have control in and whatnot. But when I was retrenched, suddenly my sort of my world kind of fell apart, because now what am I supposed to do? What I thought I was meant for this. So during that period of time, I had this like months of like self-discovery, and then soul searching, asking myself the questions. And of course, I'm also very grateful for my mentors to actually reach out and help me and supported me in this journey, where I realized that, okay, now that I don't have a full-time job. And of course, in the past, when I left the force, I wanted to do my own business, right? So I say that, okay, now that I don't have a full-time job, let me focus back on building my own business, right? So that's when I sort of I seeked out for help. I also joined Master Implementers. I say that, okay, this is the time where I need to apply what I've learned, literally, because truth to be told, every single one of us, I believe, we all have our own expertise, experience, our knowledge, right? But the difficult part is, how do we then put everything together? Like my 17 years of experience in the MinDev, doing projects, doing intelligence work, insights and stuff, technology. Then over the last 2 years, last 5, 6 years investing. So all those investing knowledge and the skills that I learned about different asset class, understanding the challenges people face. The last 3 to 4 years investing in different AI projects, AI active trading strategies. Then I'll think that, okay. And the good thing is that when I did all this, when I actually was retrenched, then suddenly I was like thrown in the deep end, right? I say that, okay, now I literally need to really find ways to take care of my day-to-day monthly expenses, right? My monthly expenses, because I still have to pay for my kids' education. I still have to put food on the table. I still have to do this, even though I don't have a job. So then I asked myself the question, what is currently working for me? So I looked at all the vehicles, the passive income vehicles that thankfully over the last few years, I have like researched and really deployed some funds, and it was generating the kind of passive income monthly on a monthly basis. I said, hey, this stuff are working for me. Why don't I build my business around it? Why don't I share about it? Because since I've already done like 3 to 4 years of due diligence, I know these passive vehicles are working. I know the trades, I know the risks. Why don't I educate the public about this? And since even in my previous job, it's about education, it's about sharing, it's about conducting masterclass, doing conducting courses, and very much leaning towards the whole transformational coaching kind of effort. So I'll say that, okay, why don't I just do this? But the difference this time is that I built my own business. So I get to choose who I want to hire in my team. I get to choose my clients. Okay. I get to share products and services and systems that I personally have invested in it and I believe in it. Then I only share, right? It's not about sales, it's not about making money off my clients, but it's about helping my clients achieve results. So truth to be told, I think that 6, 7 months was really a trying time. I think a lot of experimentation, a lot of testing, a lot of feedback. Like I can remember the many calls. Every week I'll be on a coaching call with Mark and YY and whatnot, asking them questions, and then the active feedback. I think that was the game changer for me, really moving from that identity of like being a knowledge person, being an expert, to an implementer. So that when I realized over time, took on the identity of an implementer, then I start to see a lot of things change, right? Like you say, Mark always say, at the end of the day, it's about implementing and getting results, and then using the results as a feedback, right? Because when we take action, we get results. That in itself is a very valuable feedback instead of just overthinking. Because I guess it's my nature, right? I tend to, like, maybe you say as an ex-intelligence officer or being overly educated with master's degrees and stuff, we tend to overthink too much. So when we overthink too much, we don't take action. And sometimes we think that this is probably not what the market wants. But the truth to be told, the only way to validate it is to just put it out there, try things out and do it. So I think over the last couple of months, I've done quite a number of things like masterclass, built my own, sort of the business and hire team members. So yeah, I'm actually looking to hire the second team member this week. This week and by end this week is probably a second team member. So we are growing rapidly. But that I would say is really, if you ask me, the 3 lessons that I've learned from my last 6 months, I think number one, reach out. There are abundant people, there are good mentors, there are good coaches out there who have already achieved success. I think that's one thing that really worked for me, because I know, and thankfully, thank God that I have a good network of people, trusted people that have already gotten the results. It's not like learning on YouTube, right, from somebody that who claims to achieve, but we don't know whether their strategies are good. So that's number one, learn from proven mentors and coaches, okay, that have already systems that work. Number two, it's about self-discovery, really understanding and asking yourself that deep questions, right? What am I built for? What are my past experiences? What can I do that, that I enjoy doing, right? And this is something that I can do moving forward. So it's about finding your ikigai, right? That personal discovery process. Give yourself that time. Sometimes you need to just take that time off, take a break, reflect, and get some help, like in that sense, to actually find your deeper meaning of your work. Because ultimately, if you want to build something, I don't think we just want to get to another job, right? When we're retrenched, find any job that just pays maybe a similar salary or lesser, and then just continue with that, because we are repeating the whole same cycle of that rat race, right? So instead, what we can do next. So that's the second thing, is about reflection, asking yourself the difficult question. And last but not least is leverage on technology, because the future is changing very quickly. I think if we are not leveraging on the latest technology like AI, like blockchain, like active trading strategy, then we are really at the risk of being obsolete, like being left behind by technology. So I think these are the three key lessons that over the last 6 months that has helped me to where I am today, implementing, getting results. And I'm happy to say that yeah, we are growing very quickly from month to month. Now it's about me upgrading myself in terms of my fitness, my mindset, implementation and systems. But I think it's going to be an exciting journey moving forward.
Yeah, I think one thing about Zach, right, is that I think once he got that initial like a bit of overthinking, procrastination, fear, right? Like once he crossed that threshold, right, like he just moved up really fast, right? I know he just signed up for some personal training, but you're always up to upgrading yourself, right? And in the past it was more of crypto technology, but now at the same time it's also personal, right? But I think one thing that we also talk about master mentors, right? I'm sure you know, is about the personal evolution, right? The be do have. I think that's something that really exemplifies what you are, right, in terms of what you're doing so far, which is great. So I guess, yeah, with that, I'm happy to hear your results so far. I think there's gonna be a lot more upcoming great stuff, right? So I think we shift a bit more to the question of some of our kakis that might be listening out there. So yeah, I guess with that said, what are your general thoughts about the crypto blockchain market right now, right? Especially now it's about 2000, end of 2023 as planned interview. What are your general thoughts about them right now, and any potential, let's say, sectors or trends, right, that you're looking out for moving forward?
I think it's an interesting question, because over the last couple of months, I've attended quite a number of blockchain conferences like Token 2049 in Singapore. I did attend some in Dubai as well. I also attended the Ethereum Singapore conference. So all these conferences are paid conference, right? You need to pay like $200, $300 for it. But when I was there, I get to listen to a lot of like industry experts, industry leaders, bankers and whatnot, and VCs and stuff. So what I've been seeing in terms of the prediction, like what's going to happen in the next couple of years, is really that AI, the challenge of AI is getting more and more advanced, to the point that they're able to outperform humans, mimic the performance of humans as well. So we really need to answer this question, like what really makes us different than machines, right? And what is our value add, so that we don't do the things that what machines can do, because they're going to outdo us. Like every 6 months, the computing power will double, and they're going to outdo us way faster. So we really need to focus on our strength. So one thing in terms of trend is, number one, the challenge of AI, and then they are going to outperform humans. In this space of digital assets and crypto, I am actually seeing a lot of adoption by institutions. So I'm going to see, like, recently Standard Chartered said that they are moving to serving crypto clients. We see over the last few months, last year or so, DBS actually went in to provide crypto exchange services for accredited investors. I've seen more and more companies actually providing that utility, and in terms of that area. So personally, my philosophy is that, of course, there's the dark side of like digital assets, where, in the past there was a bubble, and then basically people were just speculating on crypto, right? So that is the things that the downside with any asset class when it comes to speculation and bubble. But for me, it's about focus. I'm starting to see more and more projects and systems, that are building in a sustainable manner, that, they are literally using blockchain, because blockchain is just a technology, NFT is just a technology, non-fungible tokens, on building, on using it to solve real life problems. So I give an example, right? In like during the Russian-Ukraine war, a lot of refugees, they didn't have access to funds. A lot of banks are, cut off. The people couldn't use their banking credit cards and whatnot. But it was crypto and the decentralized ways of network that allows people to send donation to the people who are in need, where they are able to receive like funds from around the world. So this is just an example of like in the real world case, right? How it can solve. Truth to be told, Singapore is a very developed country. Our financial systems is very solid, right? So that there isn't a lot of benefits in a way in some aspect of decentralized money, and crypto can help to bring. But I'm looking at developing countries, especially third world countries and stuff, where the real problem is, for example, their currency are devaluing at a very fast rate. Inflation is like overtaken. Like some are as high as like 50 to 60% in some countries, developing countries around the world. Even the Japanese yen is like devaluing. So a lot of them then say, right, how do I then diversify my funds? How do I able to actually hold some funds in stable coins like USDT, USDC, and whatnot, and still be able to earn a safe yield of like maybe 5% kind of thing. So the good thing is that, as alternative asset class like digital assets are able to actually generate that kind of passive income, and yet it's actually much safer, right? Because, when the banks close, for example, in developing countries and so, they are still able to actually have that freedom. I think at the end of the day, it's about the freedom to actually move their funds, freedom to actually have choices to live their life, even though in those situations. But of course, if you ask me, in the developed countries like Singapore, we are starting to see more and more institutions come on board. We're starting to see more and more projects and startups that are literally providing that on rails for mass adoption, right? For example, like one of the company that I saw in token 2049 is called Based App. So literally they issue a debit card. It's like a preloaded credit card, right? It's linked to your own decentralized wallet, meaning that now you want to cash out and spend your crypto, you can literally just convert your Ethereum to, let's say, SGX, is the stablecoin for Singapore dollar, right? And now I can go to any Visa merchants and pay for it. So it's powerful concept, right? Now I can literally use my passive income generated from my AI active trading strategies, send it to my decentralized wallet, and I can spend it at any merchant in Singapore or around the world. So I think that is the next big move. I think in the next couple of years, we're going to see a mass adoption in all these, real life use cases that we can use blockchain and digital assets for.
Yeah, so a lot of infrastructure is somewhat there, right? But I think just how do you make it more accessible to consumers, right? And there's a huge level of demand from underdeveloped nations, right? And I think that's something that we could potentially look out for, and not just 2024, but I think even beyond as well. So I guess that's great value, by the way. I'm going to give you a last question. Maybe we're going to put you a bit of a spot, but I know usually Zach only shares that with his private clients, right? So I guess Zach, with that said, let's say if you were looking, let's say you're starting out with, let's say, a portfolio of maybe $5,000 or $10,000, right? Just a bit new, right? Not so sure about the crypto space, right? What would your general game plan be? Let's say if you want to start 2024 with a great amount of returns, right? Crypto safely, consistently, what will your general game plan be? Number one, and maybe number two, if you had to just choose, three potential sectors to look at, right? I think mentioned a little bit, but three sectors you want to look at, right? What would they be? And a little bit of why. You want to share a bit, like what would your game plan be, right? If you're someone who was $10,000, maybe they had to withdraw some money from TD Ameritrade, wondering where to put their funds, what would you do, right, if you're in that position?
Yeah, so actually that's precisely what I've designed my workshop for. So in fact, I'm running the next coming workshop on the 4th of November, but literally with a capital of like 5,000 or even 10K, depending on what's the passive income you want, basically you just attend the workshop. And that's when I think, firstly, I think don't talk about the workshop first. It's about education. Educate yourself in the space. Understand that there are strategies like that works. Secondly, is there during the workshop, I also will share with you how you can actually deploy some funds, like maybe a $5,000 or $3,000, and actually generate passive income consistently. So it's a very implementation outcome driven workshop. So end of the day, I think more importantly, if people want to find and get some results immediately, this is one of the things we want to do. Find a trusted partner, find a coach that can actually share with you proven systems. They have already done their due diligence. They have already found strategies that work. Go and attend a workshop. Basically get your system running. You can put a small amount, because I think it's all about prudency. You want to see it working first, generating the profits. You want to minimize your risk. Then when you see it and you like it, you understand the risk, you know that it is working very well for you, then you can increase your capital. So I think for most people starting, find a trusted educator, put some small funds there, let it grow. See, once you see the track record, you know the risk and everything, then you are prepared to actually increase your funds as well. So this is what I do. And I think that a lot of my clients are already starting to see results over the last couple of months, where they are able to generate a consistent 5 to 8% kind of passive income monthly to be able to grow their portfolio. And that in a way, it really helps them with their sustenance and eventually allows them to compound, right? So if you ask me about a roadmap, I think it's not just about sustenance, because even if you start with small capital like 5,000, but if you understand the power of compounding, right? If a vehicle can generate, let's say, about 6.5% average on a monthly basis, if you compound it every month, eventually over a period of 3 to 4 years, especially 4 years, your $5,000 will become $100,000. And that is powerful, because a lot of people, they think that I don't think it's possible for me to save up to $100,000, right? Especially when I need to pay for bills and stuff and I have a limited amount of like asset. But you know what? If you have like some capital, like maybe 5K or even 10K or whatnot, you just set it aside as risk capital. You find safe vehicles like that, put it in, and literally every month just let it compound. Then one effective strategy is that, if you don't want to increase your exposure, every month, let's say after a certain period of time, you can actually use the profits from this vehicle to redeploy to other passive vehicles as well. So I think that is one way in terms of like risk management, capital recycling. So no matter what, your capital is safe. If you say that, Zach, I want to stop my bots, I need to use my risk capital, we can stop the bots and you can withdraw it, because the custody of the funds is in your own exchange. Anytime you want to stop the bots, you can do it, you can withdraw as well. So I think that is important in terms of the game plan for most people to get started with low risk, high win rates. And you know what, basically, most importantly is passive. You don't need to look at charts, you don't have to monitor. Literally, once we get the bots running, AI set up, the AI trading system set up, there's nothing else you need to do. Probably on a monthly basis, we just check in, make sure that the bots are running well, just make sure that everything is running as well, then that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Great. So with that, right, I think what Zach mentioned, right, is I think just the easiest hack, right, to this entire process is find something that's proven, right? Something that's really been proven for a long period of time. But I love the strategy of how, okay, let's say you do want to manage your risk, right? Put it in a slightly risk averse, right, environment of vehicle, and then use those profits, right, to reinvest. I think that's a brilliant idea. I never think of that. Like so instead of having to risk the full $10,000, right, put it somewhere that you can feel good with, and then reinvest it. It might take longer, but at least you get to manage your risk in case anything happens as well. Yeah. So with that, right, for anybody, right, who wants to check out Zech Workshop, please go and check it out. We'll put a link somewhere in the description, whether is it November or another date, right? If let's say it's finished. But yeah, I guess with last anywhere they can find you, right? If they find out more about what you do, right? Anything, right, that you can check you out, right? Your work a bit further. Yeah, share a bit more about that, bro.
Yes, so I'm actually more active on my social media, Facebook and stuff. And my website is blockslab.com. So you can see in the link below. The workshop link will also be there. But something that Mark has also encouraged me to do is like post actively, right? So I'm gonna do more social media posting on Facebook. I mean, this is a declaration that I'm gonna do more social media posting. I mean, more from the point of like being a lighthouse, sharing my insight, showing people that there's a way to live your life in a free and a fulfilled manner by leveraging on like good mentors, coaching, as well as AI systems. That's one way we can actually transform our life. So yeah, you can find more in the link below, my company website or even my Facebook. So I'll love to continue to share my insight, my insights, my forecast, as well as the strategies that has helped me to achieve my financial freedom. That's something that I love to do.
Wow, I don't know, say I've never seen a more passionate and energetic person, right, doing crypto education, right, than you, man. So yeah, man, with that, right, hope you guys enjoyed the interview, guys. So you can check Zach out if you need to, and that I'll see all of you guys very soon. Thanks, Zach, and thanks everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you.